Hello students, welcome back to the online classes of BSc Part 2nd Bio, Paper 2nd. In Paper 2nd, in the chapter Endocrine Glands, we are studying different endocrine glands, and in this series today, we will study the adrenal glands. The adrenal glands are significant part of endocrine system. They play a vital role in body's fight or flight response. They generate stress hormones that are necessary to counteract the changes in the external environment. The adrenal glands are situated on each side of the vertebral column, and they are closely applied on the upper poles of kidneys, and therefore their name is suprarenal gland. If we see their structure, we find that the adrenal gland is composed of two distinct parts, which differ both anatomically and physiologically. The outer part, which is derived from the mesoderm, is called the cortex, and the inner part, which is derived from the neural crest, is known as the medulla. The outer cortex is composed of three layers: zona glomerulosa, zona fasciculata, and the zona reticularis. The zona glomerulosa secretes mineralocorticoids which regulate salt and water balance in the body, and the zona fasciculata secretes the glucocorticoids which affect the carbohydrate metabolism. The inner layer, the zona reticularis, secretes the sex hormones. The inner medulla is completely surrounded by the cortex. In man, this region is thin and comprises only 5 to 10% of the gland. It produces the hormones adrenaline and noradrenaline. In this figure we can see the structure of adrenal gland. These are the adrenal glands. They are yellow in color and they are applied on the upper pole of the kidney. Therefore, we also call them suprarenal glands. In this picture, we can see this is the outer layer. The outer is known as the cortex and the inner portion is known as the medulla. The outer cortex region has three layers: the zona glomerulosa, which is the outer layer, the zona reticularis, which is the inner layer, and in between the two is present the zona fasciculata. Coming to the functions, first we will take the function of cortex. It is called the gland of 4S. Why? Because it helps in salt retaining, sugar metabolism, stress management, and sexual function. Therefore, we call it the gland of 4S. The adrenal cortex produces a number of important hormones which are steroids derived from the cholesterol. So, the three hormones that the cortex secretes are mineralocorticoids, glucocorticoids, and the androgens. First, we will take up the mineralocorticoids and their functions. Mineralocorticoids are associated with the maintenance of electrolyte balance in the body and distribution of water in tissues. Specific examples are the hormones aldosterone and deoxycorticosterone. The most potent of the mineralocorticoid is the aldosterone. The deoxycorticosterone is only 4% as potent as the aldosterone. The functions of aldosterone: it is a salt retaining hormone which promotes the reabsorption of sodium and chloride ions by the renal tubules, and it increases the excretion of potassium ions. The hypersecretion of aldosterone, this is not hypo, this is hyper. The hypersecretion of aldosterone causes the Addison's disease, which is characterized by the excessive loss of sodium chloride in the urine and elevated levels of potassium in the serum. It also leads to lowering of blood pressure, body temperature, and basal metabolic rate. It leads to muscular weakness, hypoglycemia, loss of appetite, vomiting, gastrointestinal disturbances. It also causes the brownish pigmentation on skin, especially on the exposed parts, for example, the face, hands, due to the deposition of melanin. The hyposecretion of aldosterone causes the Conn's syndrome, which is characterized by the increase in the extracellular fluid volume and the blood volume. It leads to hypertension and polyuria. The polyuria is often because there is a small tumor of zona glomerulosa. Then comes the glucocorticoids. The glucocorticoids primarily affect the metabolism of carbohydrates, proteins, and lipids. The main hormones are the corticosterone and cortisone. Their secretion is stimulated by the adrenocorticotropic hormone from the anterior lobe of pituitary. The functions are they are metabolically antagonistic to insulin, that is, they have an hyperglycemic action. Under their influence, glycogen is changed to glucose in the liver, thus raising the blood sugar level. They are also anti-stress hormones because during stress they promote the conversion of fats and proteins to glycogen, that is ultimately converted to glucose by the process of gluconeogenesis. They have an anti-inflammatory and anti-allergic properties. In recent years, this hormone has been utilized very often to suppress the phenomena of rejection in transplantation of organs. Together with the adrenocorticotropic hormone, the glucocorticoids serve to counteract the harmful effects of long lasting stress such as starvation, heat, cold, toxins, burns, infections, and forced exercises, and so on, by helping the tissue to develop resistance and adapt them to meet new conditions. These responses are together called the general adaptation syndrome. Now, the hypersecretion of cortisol in adults. The signs of hypersecretion leads to a disease known as Cushing's disease or Cushing's syndrome. What are the symptoms? It leads to hyperglycemia and glycosuria. There is excessive deposition of fat over the face, back, and the neck and abdomen. There is muscular weakness because of potassium depletion through the kidneys. And there is wasting of muscles due to protein anti-anabolic effect and gluconeogenesis. The hypersecretion of cortisol also leads to viralism in females and feminism in males. What is viralism in females? It is the tendency to develop male characters, that is, excessive growth of hair on chest with an increase and darkening of the facial hair, cessation of menstrual flow, gradual atrophy of the breasts, and overgrowth of clitoris. Whereas feminism in males is characterized by a tendency to develop female sex characteristics that are enlarged mammary glands and retarded growth of beard. The third hormone secreted by the cortex are the androgens or the estrogens, the sex hormones. They are secreted both in men and women. These primarily affect the secondary sexual characters in their specific target organs. They generate anabolic effects on carbohydrate metabolism and protein metabolism. They play a very critical stimulating role in the phenomena of spermatogenesis. They act on the central neural system influencing the male sexual behavior. Sex hormones like estrogen and androgens stimulate the secretion of growth hormone at the time of puberty. These trigger the growth of muscles, facial and axillary hair, low pitch of voice, and aggressiveness. It checks the maturation, development, and functions of the male accessory sexual organs such as vas deferens, epididymis, seminal vesicles, urethra, prostate gland, etc. Apart from the sexual health, this hormone, the androgen, is also involved in maintaining the body metabolism, insulin sensitivity, and possibly body composition. The androgens also influence the development and maintenance of the secondary sexual characters in females. They also affect bone density, cardiovascular health in women, and some research suggests that they may have an impact on brain function and mood. The inner portion, that is the medulla, it secretes two hormones, adrenaline or epinephrine, which consists 80%, and noradrenaline or norepinephrine, which consists 20%. First, we will take up the functions of noradrenaline. It produces a vasoconstriction of peripheral organs like the skin, the digestive organ, and the reproductive organs, and this effect raises the blood pressure. The functions of adrenaline are: it causes vasodilation of the arterial walls of the skeletal muscles. This increases the supply of oxygen and nutritional material for a sustained muscle activity. It causes vasoconstriction of the arterioles of the skin, mucous membranes, and splanchnic viscera, which and directs the blood away from them to the skeletal muscles, brain, coronary artery, and liver. It dilates trachea and bronchi and permits a greater volume of air to enter the lungs at each inspiration. Adrenaline increases the rate of heartbeat and thus increases the blood pressure. It slows down peristalsis in the digestive tract and it limits the flow of saliva. Adrenaline increases the tone of the anal and urethral sphincter muscles, thus inhibiting micturition and defecation. It stimulates the conversion of liver glycogen stored in liver and muscles to glucose that is ready for oxidation. It decreases insulin, thereby preventing glucose from being taken up by the peripheral tissues and preserving it for central nervous system. The net of such changes is that the increased quantity of blood is pumped faster to heart, muscles, and brain. It is well oxygenated and rich in nutrients. These preparations are very valuable for the body in providing a rapid response to emergencies such as fatigue, shock, fear, excitement, and danger. So, students, we've studied the functions of adrenal hormones today, and we see that adrenal gland is an important gland that produces hormones that regulate your metabolism, immune system, blood pressure, response to stress, and other essential functions.